YouTubers, Eric Andres, your Guitar Sage here, and today I'm going to show you a really handy dandy lesson. I'm going to need my capo. I'm going to show you a really handy dandy lesson for basically playing everything in the feel of C or the feel of G. Okay, and I'll explain that in a minute. And basically, using a capo, I'm going to show you how you can pretty much keep everything in the open chord position and have all of your licks look very, very similar with the exception of one note. Okay, now why would you want to do this? Well, one, this is a really cool Nashville trick, so a lot of acoustic Nashville players will do this all the time. Now, they don't play exclusively in the feel of C and G, but they do oftentimes, especially in the studio, using a capo, because it allows them, it frees up fingers and allows them to do some things that they wouldn't be able to do in some other keys, especially keys that aren't open. Now that the keys that people play in a lot of time are C, G, E, A, and D. Those are the most common ones because they have more open chords in it, as opposed to, say, playing an F or B flat or G sharp or something like that, like some really odd key where you'd be using a bunch of chords, a bunch of bar chords, okay? Which bar chords, no problem with. We love bar chords, right? If you have issues with bar chords or you don't know how to play bar chords, on YouTube here, type in YourGuitarSage bar chords, and a funny guy that looks like me, except he has a goatee. He'll teach you how to play 300 bar chords in like less than a half hour, I think. Anyhow, it's my brother. Not really, it's me. But check that out. It's really cool. Okay, so we can play bar chords, that's fine, but bar chords are a little bit limiting because, like, for instance, if I'm playing this G bar chord, I can't do a whole lot of noodling. I mean, really, I could noodle this finger. So I could go something like... Or... Now, if I did my second finger, it would sound weird because I'm going in from minor to major, and that doesn't sound super hot. If it was bluesy, it may sound okay, but for the most part, it's not gonna sound good. If I was playing a G like this, I could do stuff like... So I could do all sorts of fun stuff like that if I have an open chord, okay? And so the more open the chords are, the more they resonate and they sound beautiful, and we can do all sorts of really cool fingerings and that sort of thing, as opposed to sticking to bar chords and not being able to do too much. There's a place for bar chords for sure, but it's not what this video is about. It's about staying within the feel of G and C. Now, what do we mean by feel? What I mean by that is, if I'm playing, let's say I'm playing, by the way, this is on the nut here, so it's not on anything right now. I'm just putting it there for right now, okay? In fact, let's put it here so we're not distracted, okay? So let's say I'm playing in the feel of G, and I'm playing in the key of G. So I'm playing G and C and D and E minor and A minor, that sort of thing. And let's say the song that we're gonna play calls for the key of G sharp. Obviously, I could take my capo, put it at the first fret, and now, instead of playing in the key of G, I'm playing in the key of G sharp, but it still feels like the key of G. So that's what I call the feel of. So here I'm playing what feels like a G, and what feels like a C, and what feels like a D, and an E minor, and an A minor. But in reality, I'm playing a G sharp, a C sharp, a D sharp, an F minor, and an A sharp minor. Okay, so, you get the idea. That's going to get confusing. We just think G, C, D, E minor, A minor, right? But we move our capo. That's what I call feel of. So, the premise is we can pretty much use our capo and take any song and play it in the feel of G or C, okay? Now, I'm going to show you how to do this. If you need a matrix that actually shows you what key goes into what and that sort of thing, make sure you go to YourGuitarSage.com and download the free ebook. When you do that, I also give these books away several times a year through Amazon. So make sure you check that out. But I'm going to show you how to do some basic bits here. So I showed you that if you're in the key of G, that we could go to G sharp by just moving that up, in the key of A. And if you know the names of the notes on your fretboard, which you should, if you don't, then you need to. I have a video for that in my beginners playlist that you can find on my homepage. Or you could probably type in YourGuitarSage naming the notes within your YouTube engine, and you can find it that way. So again, if we know what those notes are, then going up the fretboard, we can go G sharp, A sharp, B, and we can be playing in each one of those keys, okay? Similarly, if we were in the key of C, which is like C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, those sorts of things, then that's the key of C. But if we wanted to play something in the key of C sharp, put our capo here, and now we have the same bits and pieces. I won't name them what the new chords are. I'm just gonna name what they feel like again. C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, okay? But since it's capoed up a half step, all those chords are up a half step, okay? So we're in a new key, and we could just keep doing this right up the line, you know? Now, why? What's the big deal about that, Eric? What is that gonna help? It's gonna help a lot. Why? Because the key of G and the key of C are exactly the same, except for one note. So for those of you that knew what I was talking about there, you thought I was wrong, but I'm not. The key of G has an F sharp in it, whereas the key of C has an F natural, just a normal F. So the key of C has C, D, E, F, G, A, B, back to C. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So the F is natural. If we were playing in the key of G, the notes are G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So the only difference, if we take both of those chords and we lay them on top of each other, yeah, the notes are in different places, but the same notes. You know, we got 6 of the same notes. The one note that's different is the F, which in the key of G is an F sharp instead of a natural F. Now, why is that? What's the big deal about that? That's tremendously helpful, because that means that every single lick that you play in the key of C is applicable in the key of G, except for the F sharp. Okay, so instead of an F, you just play it as an F sharp. It's one note, and so you can easily tailor all your really cool licks into the key of G by just altering that one note. Okay, so now when you're talking about, now this is pretty cool, because if you've watched my video on chord noodling in your YouTube engine, just type in YourGuitarSage chord noodling, then I do stuff like this, where I'm taking a chord, that sort of thing. Then, sorry, that detuned guitar threw me off there. Like, stay in tune, gotta stay in tune. So, you know, what I'm doing here is I'm taking the open chords, but I'm noodling these other notes. How do we know how to do that? Well, one, you can get the free ebook at YourGuitarSage.com, and I can show you what those are, those open maps, if you will. But once you know them in the key of C, then the only difference between the key of C and the key of G is the F becomes F sharp, okay? And since you can capo this, then basically you could play in every single key. I mean, there's only 12 keys. You could play in every single key by just moving your capo up and down the fretboard. And you won't have to be playing way up here, because you have 2 different keys to start from. Make sense? So, you know, you could go G, G sharp, A sharp, B, and then come back down to C. So really, you know, if you were playing a B, you'd be up here. That ain't too bad. And then you could be playing in the key of C, right there, and then moving it up again until you get to F sharp, and then we're back down to G again. So it's very easy to use your capo and be in these two keys, and your licks are going to stay the exact same. Okay, so make sense? I promise you, it's going to help a ton with any sort of open stuff that you're doing. That sort of thing, okay? I'm just thinking chords, and I'm thinking what I can do with my scale maps. So, learn to do this, playing the key of G or playing the key of C, or the feels of, and you're going to find out that your licks, except for one note, are going to work out the same all the time. Okay, there you are, my friends. Hey, if you like this video, hit thumbs up and subscribe. If you have any questions, hit me up here or on Facebook and Twitter and all that good stuff. As you know, if you follow me at all, you know I love animals, and I believe that they should be treated with the same kindness that humans do. So please, spay and neuter your animals. Be kind to them. Be kind to one another. We can change this world by just being kind. It's what the world needs more of. So please let me know how I can help. YourGuitarSage.com. I got a ton of free stuff for you. And the Unstoppable Guitar System is my 30 years in the making master course. It starts at day one and goes to advanced players. Many hundreds of high quality videos in there. You can check it out for $1. The link is below. I'm Eric Andreas, Your Guitar Sage. See ya.